the latest in the fast-changing world of virtual reality. From immersive first-person to Waldo World, the 6 types of VR. And what about us? How do people fit in with all this technology? Hello and welcome to this special edition of Future Watch. I'm Donna Kelly at VR93 in San Jose, California, the largest virtual reality conference and exhibition in North America.
Over 4 years, we've been running conferences in the San Francisco area. It's grown from 180 registrants in 1990 and no exhibitors to a situation where we have roughly 56 exhibitors at this show, and we'll probably go over 600 paid registrants.
What are all these people here to talk about?
Virtual reality simply is the ability for us to step through the computer screen into a computer-generated artificial world in which we can look around, we can move around, and actually interact, touch, move things in this world.
Greg Lefebvre has walked the exhibition floor and has a look at the latest offerings in virtual reality.
The invasion of the video helmet heads. Virtual reality now can sweep you off your feet, swing a business deal, or just swing.
Okay, now we're flying.
Bob Todd's $50,000 Reality Plus lets him soar a crash-proof hang glider or shoot laser bullets at the computer-generated enemy.
I can even shoot at cars from inside the building. Ooh, got the yellow one. Shooting at me. Ooh, got him. Well, a trade show might use it as a public attention getter, but another very unique thing to do is to actually put their product inside the virtual world. So if they were selling a tool, or let's say somebody was a house builder, they could actually put together these homes inside the virtual world, and in their exhibit booth, they could actually have people walk through those homes or pick up the tool and use it, or walk out on the assembly line and see a product being assembled.
The Metaphor Mixer plays the real-world stock markets like a chessboard.
It actually gives you information because you're immersed in data. It's not, you're not playing, you're getting live feeds. And another thing you'll notice is throughout the conference, all these VR products are, you know, it's a self-contained unit. We're actually tying into the real world.
Stock symbols float freely over a grid separated by industries and world markets.
VR just gives you a way to represent spatial information easily, and humans being spatial animals, it's easier to, like, I'm not a financial guy, but I can easily see which stocks are higher priced or where something's happening.
Which one is that? Walk forward and walk backwards. Now take your thumb and put it to the left. Press that button on top. Okay, I see it. Okay, gun. Gun. And what's this right here? Fire. That's fire, right. Okay.
Virtual reality relies on headgear with tiny TV screens that play computer-generated 3D images of places or events. Players actually can witness virtual reality without being by the machine. Anthony Lloyd's BioControl senses the body's movements by mapping the nervous system.
The idea of Star Trek Beam Me Up Scotty is actually coming close. We can't beam you physically from one place to another, but we can take your nervous system, digitize it, and send it into another country.
Virtual reality lets the player defy the laws of physics, or in the sexual fantasy Cybergasm, defy social conventions.
Feel intensify those subtle pulsations of ecstasy, so exquisite.
Cybergasm is almost kind of taking the freedom of the 60s about sex and about all those things and kind of tying it into a 90s technical point of view.
So far, audio only. These fantasy images generate real money. Sales in this industry exploded from $30 million last year to $110 million this year. Greg Lefebvre, CNN Future Watch, San Jose, California.
When we come back, we'll look at the different types of virtual reality. It's not all headgear and power gloves.
I think we'll find that as virtual reality evolves as a technology, it's going to evolve in many different forms, and that ultimately people will pick and choose the form that's comfortable for them.
Welcome back to this special edition of Future Watch from VR93 in San Jose. This is a head-mounted display. It's the most common type of virtual reality, but it is only one way that you can experience virtual worlds. Industry analyst Louis Brill has categorized VR into 6 types.
In my own work in studying and writing about virtual reality, it became very apparent to me that there are many forms of virtual reality.
This is what Brill calls immersive first-person virtual reality. Head-mounted displays combined with other devices like power gloves allow you to interact with the computer-generated world. While the technology is improving, the view from inside the helmet is still a concern.
I think resolution is the critical issue. There is no convenient, inexpensive display technology that can be worn on your head right now.
But Bassett says high resolution is just around the corner, and that will make bulky headgear a thing of the past.
5 or 10 years from now, I see sunglasses being a reality. It'll look more like a pair of glasses that you put on, and it'll have high resolution.
Cab simulator environment is another first-person technology where the experience is directed toward the user as though he were in the middle of the action.
But a cab simulator pushes that interface out slightly so that you're actually inside a vehicle and you can control that vehicle, and then the world is moved around you outside of your vehicle.
First-person immersive and cab simulators are popular entertainment platforms today with many potential future applications.
It's conceivable that in a few years, everyone who applies for a driver license would encounter a driving simulator as part of the battery of examinations they get.
Using cab simulators in the licensing process is already being tested in California, Oregon, and Washington State in what's called the Tri-State Project. Flack is quick to add a present-day application he would like to see.
Training somebody to drive and use a cellular telephone could be an issue even in the near term.
If you'd like to walk through a 3D virtual world, all you need is the cave, but the only place you'll find it is at the Electronic Visualization Laboratory at the University of Illinois.
It's a huge room, about 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet, and people walk inside, and each one of the walls, including the floor, is a projection screen when you receive 3D graphics.
Since the projections are not limited to one viewer, the cave's virtual world can be shared by many participants, and one of the best aspects of the cave is that you will not lose track of the real world around you. In Through the Window virtual reality, the user looks through a portal or a window on the screen into another environment. A prime example of this is Virtus Walkthrough, a desktop computer 3D visualization program.
The advantages of those systems is that they work on computers that you already have, or on your television, for example. It's very similar. You're looking into yet another world. The difference is you're controlling it and interacting with it through that window.
A chief concern for the developers of the program was to incorporate the 2D world of text and databases into the 3D world of real-time graphic generation to maximize user benefits.
In fact, when you talk about virtual reality, just 3D by itself isn't enough. You don't want to lose what you had before, and that's really what we're after.
Mirror World is a second-person VR experience. Users control an electronic or video duplication of themselves. This is Myron Kruger's brand of virtual reality, although he prefers to call it artificial reality. His technology also recognizes the importance of the 2D information world.
99% of the information that exists today is in two-dimensional form. So this is fitting into the world of the spreadsheet and word processing instead of trying to build a new world of three-dimensional applications.
He also eschews the headgear and gadgets of other virtual reality technologies as unwelcome encumbrances.
My approach to virtual reality has always been that people would prefer not to wear scuba gear in order to have an experience or to get work done.
The final category, which is referred to as Waldo World, uses remote-controlled mechanical manipulation like SimGraphics' vector animation creation system.
Our virtual reality systems allow you to create essentially cartoons. It's a real-time animation system. It allows actors wearing special input devices for your face, your body, your hands to control computer-generated characters. We call them vectors, virtual actors, with your own body movements in real time.
Glenn also says this technology is a much more cost-effective way to make cartoons than painting individual cells. While the field of virtual reality is still in its formative stages, Brill predicts that in the future, VR will be viewed as a technology as indispensable as the telephone and the electric light.
One day, people will say, I don't know how people ever got along without virtual reality.
When we come back, a look at the human interface, the role we play in the virtual world.
You can see the little lights going off in their head, like, wow, you can use it for this and you can use it for that. And that's really what I get a kick out of, is watching those people and just letting their imaginations go wild.
Welcome back to Future Watch in VR 93 in San Jose, California. In the race to develop virtual reality, most of the effort has been put into the hardware and software that make it happen. But the technology is only as good as the people using it. Lori Waffenschmidt looks at efforts underway to understand more about the human element in virtual reality.
It's a strange thing to watch someone experiencing virtual reality.
For users, it's fairly disorienting, but I love seeing people get in there for the very first time because they are just totally awestruck. They get the stereo effect, like, wow, this is really great. I've never seen anything like this.
But once we get beyond the stage where most people are just getting a taste of VR, there are many things to consider in making it work for people.
The human's physical needs with the systems, the human's cognitive needs, how do we deal long-term being in artificial environments, certainly our emotional perceptions. So that there's a lot of research going on in those areas.
In order to make sure virtual reality is as useful as it can be in the 21st century, people have to learn how to use it.
I definitely believe in the educational process for two reasons. One, it's not that easy. It's not like this. It's a different kind of an environment created by a machine and people working with the machines. And it feels different. It doesn't feel like the real world. Another reason for educating people is that if they're not educated about what the world's capabilities are at the beginning, they will not make the optimal use of that experience.
At the University of Central Florida in Orlando, the folks at the Institute for Simulation and Training aren't only teaching people how to use virtual worlds, they're using virtual worlds to teach people how to operate in the real world. They've created a virtual model of the building they work in to help the military learn how people find their way around.
For example, if we go around a corner and there's a plant there, and that plant is a very recognizable plant to that person, they may use that as a cue through the navigation of the building. So we're going to be looking at things that the people are looking at in the environment.
The idea is to train soldiers in hostage rescue or firefighting by letting them practice in a virtual world. But as Hollywood is quick to point out, while there are a number of ways to use virtual reality to help people, it can also hurt.
The danger of the Wild Palm Syndrome is that most people will not do intelligent things with the technology, but will simply allow it to dominate their lives, and other people's ideas and fantasies will dominate their experience.
I think in some ways we're going to be down the road in need of a new kind of literacy, a literacy of behavior. What are we inadvertently training ourselves to do when we develop advanced virtual reality applications?
One way to try to prevent problems is to design systems from the start based on the needs of the human beings using virtual reality.
Designers are slowly beginning to insinuate themselves into this field. And that will be one of the things that begins to change the nature of VR from something that's just a technology to really a useful process and a collection of tools that can be employed to do things that are important for people.
In San Jose, California, Lori Waffenschmidt, CNN Future Watch.
And that's our look into the world of virtual reality. Our thanks to the folks here at VR 93 in San Jose. Now, next week, we're back in Atlanta, but we'll come to you from Comdex, the Computer Industry Showcase. Hope you can join us. For all of us on Future Watch, I'm Donna Kelly. If you'd like to...